Hey, what's going on, button mashers? We're going to be doing something a little different today. We're going to be watching a fellow button mashers replay and trying to figure out what exactly we can teach each other, what can we learn. So we're going to be a little bit aggressive with analysis, and this is going to be a bit of a new show. So please let me know if you enjoy it. I know I enjoy doing things like this, but I want to make sure that, it's something that's fun to watch. So, D the Hunter actually sent us a replay of him playing Zagara. So, right now, all we're going to do here is we're going to watch D the Hunter, which I believe is on the other side here. There he is, as Zagara. And, just kind of watch his play and try and figure out what's going on with positioning, how well the game went, what he could do better, etc. There will be no talking of really the build that he does. I just want to watch the overall gameplay and see if we can learn from that. So, Battlefield of Eternity is the map. And this is a 2-lane battleground, so I'm kind of curious to where D the Hunter is going to be going here. Probably the best choice for him right now is to run in the middle and try and lay down a couple creep tumors. I would try to play near my support, which we do have one down here in the bottom right corner near him. So keep an eye on what exactly is happening here. And also, as a player in this position, you need to be watching where your teammates are. Right now, 3 of them are top lane, and 1 is behind the gate. So you see him playing a little passively, which is totally cool to me. Get those creep tumors spreading out and doing whatever you can here. Zagara can be very, very powerful on this map when it comes to actually holding the map down. A little bit of trade here. Something to note when you are playing Zagara, here we're going to go ahead and pause this replay really quickly. When you are playing Zagara, you want to try and stay near minions, and you want to control the minion wave. Playing down here in this bottom right corner puts you in a scenario where you're not getting really that many auto attacks on these minions. These Baneling barrages that you're putting out, you see how they're only hitting a couple of minions? You're not getting the most value out of using your Q. If you ever want to use Banelings, which there are only small instances where it actually matters, you need to walk up, get closer, and make sure the splash damage is hitting a good 5 or 6 for you to get full value. This positioning right here is 2 played back. It makes you look a little scared. You should definitely walk up to your minions and be in the area. Being in the area as well will make some situations where we saw the Hydralisk trying to take out D the Hunter. It'll actually walk through minions if you pull back, and your minions will help clear it up too, so you can deal with that Hydra action. But nonetheless, a little small tip there. Let's see how it plays out. So right now, the lane is being lost. A lot of the power, and again, this is kind of unfortunate for you, is you're playing in a Zagara versus Zagara matchup. A lot of the power with Zagara is her early lane control, right? You're being forced and bullied out of the lane because it's warrior and specialist versus specialist and healer, and you're also using your Baneling barrage more aggressively than she is, which has made you put down to mana. Be careful with those Banelings. In the early game, you don't want to be using them often. Use your Roaches, use your Hydralisks. They cost a little bit less, and they also are better at pushing than Banelings unless you get the full value like we were talking about earlier. Very aggressive misclick there, I'm assuming. Try to play backwards. Remember, when you are not winning in the minion game, which you weren't there because there was 5 minions available, play passively. You don't want to take any free damage. Free damage is basically giving up free resources as you lose your health, you lose mana as you try to defend yourself. You're really just kind of hurting there. Potentially here, if you're ever in a scenario where you're low on mana, might want to back all the way home. You know, the early game Immortals aren't that big of a deal. No team is really going to melt them very, very quickly. You have time to go back home. It's only about 9 seconds to get across the map from the base all the way to the middle of the map, so feel free to use that occasionally. Good poke here, but be careful of those area effects. I know they come up very, very quickly, and they are a bit different compared to other battlegrounds, but you've got to be careful here. And right now, the entire team is a little bit separated, so want to make sure that you group up with your teammates if possible. Now that everyone's starting to join up, you unfortunately aren't able to join them because you took too much poke. So now everyone is forced to retreat a little bit as you run back home and heal up, and it looks like it might be a couple kills here for the blue team. So nice play by them. 2 members going down, 3 members going down, and you just now show up. The question is, what do you do here if you've fallen behind? And the answer is not run straight to their Immortal. The answer is you need to float near your Immortal, because your Immortal gives you the best chance of defense right now. And right now, everyone seems to be a little bit split right now, as you have Kel'Thas and Zagara, and then now Sonya joining up in the bottom lane. So maybe the best option was to actually try and get to level 4 instead of trying to go for the Immortal, since you guys were all split up. Right now you're a level behind, which is a talent. especially it's compacted here a little bit more than you would like, just because of you being behind. So go ahead and sit in this lane, man. That's totally cool. Let your teammates know. Say, hey, I'm gonna grab level 4. Walking up here, trying to grab a little bit of pressure, and I like how everyone's starting to posture a little bit with your Immortal. That way you guys can defend if need be. Try to wait for the Orc to spawn. The moment he spawns, jump on whoever is on top of him. He'll be able to put down the CC, and he'll be also able to sit in the front line and allow you to do a lot of damage. Oh man, gotta be careful with those Banelings, man. They cost too much. They don't do that much damage against heroes. They're very area effect based. And I'm gonna stop commenting on that, but just for the future reference, just Roaches and Hydra. Use them, man. Banelings are very situational, and they are not something you want to use in a fight in that area. Tapping mana well, which is totally fine. Your team is getting a little bit aggressive, and now you show up, but again, it's a little bit too late. Maybe even though you were low on mana, you need to come to that fight and maybe help out your teammates. Pinging them back could have been good here. Again, this is a replay, so I'm not really sure where the pings are going down, but wait for your teammates. Build around them. I do like this side push, though. You do realize that you are at a disadvantage, so you run down, you try to grab some experience, but you should have immediately, after taking out a couple of minions, start rotating back towards your teammates, because you have 2 of them already sitting next to the Immortal. You guys need to work together and start poking things down. Well, blue team will get the first Immortal, and the question is, what do you do here? As Zagara, you do have the pushing capability to go into the opposite lane. So, it's okay to be here. The problem is you just have no mana. So, maybe backing during that whole Immortal animation would have been okay for you. Maybe backing here would be great too, because you pushed the lane already. Your teammates are going to the top, and they're going to help defend this Immortal, so looking pretty strong. And again, it's okay to split push. You just kind of need mana to do it, especially on Zagara. You want those Roaches to be tanking these ammo shots and really helping the minions push forward. Let's go ahead and check and see how your team's doing with this. Team's trying their best to defend the Immortal, and they do. The first Immortal really doesn't have that much firepower. It's not that tanky. At least need to play a little bit more passively, but looks like you will lose towers, but not the worst. Especially if you can trade out a tower here, if you can get one. Roaches again. They're great for taking minion waves and also taking these tower shots. Try to use those earlier so you can have a big minion stack to apply the damage to the towers, because right now you got nothing out of this. And that really comes from not having a mana. Make sure to walk in there and have that mana. So, what do you do from here? You're about half a level behind. Trying to get to 7, which I think is the best choice here. Looks like you are doing so by soaking the experience down here in the bottom lane. Your teammates are starting to grab whatever they can. These, though, I don't think need to be grabbed immediately after an Immortal is grabbed. These are actually much better supplemented when they're pushing a lane by themselves, and that normally happens whenever the Immortals do spawn. Grab these bad boys, because they die off pretty quickly. Once the Shaman guy dies, these Hellhounds are done with, and look, they do nothing here. Try to coordinate with your teammates, or for you at home or other button mashers, try to coordinate and try to get these picked up later on in the game, just because they're not that helpful in this scenario. Although, they haven't killed the Shaman yet. He's starting to get some more Hellhounds up. It looks like you might be able to get a push going. And yeah, it's occurring. You're really focusing on spreading creep, which is good, but you just don't have the mana right now. You are so low on mana that if you were caught, you wouldn't have a Hydra. And your Hydra is kind of your safety net with Zagara, because... Here, I'm going to go ahead and pause real quick. Really, Zagara doesn't have any mobility whatsoever unless she is on creep. So your Hydra is kind of your failsafe, because you're able to drop it on whoever is coming at you to force them to walk away or tank damage. They have to make that split decision, and most of the time, a lot of people will run away, just because they're so scared the Hydra puts out so much damage. So you want to save that. Don't be going in the middle of the map, try to put down creep tumors unless you have the ability to put down a Hydra. And in this situation, you did not. So, little note there. Let's go ahead and keep moving forward with the replay. Again, you've just been in these lanes so long that you just are so starved for any resource here. You gotta remember, your main resources, whenever you're playing on Zagara, is gonna be your creep tumors, your mana, and then your health bar. I would honestly say your mana is probably more important than your health bar. Just because if you don't have your mana, you're gonna die anyways. You're Zagara, you're gonna get caught out. So make sure to keep that thing around half full, manage it a little bit better if you can, and try not to spam as much. You're gonna be able to escape because you do have the creep tumors, but you're taking so much damage here, and oh no, looks like you're gonna get picked off. Your teammates did an okay job here of trying to poke down the Immortal while that was happening, but I do believe a safer option would have been to go all the way around here and group up with your teammates. The entire game you feel a little bit off, kind of doing your own thing. Sometimes it's okay to go ahead and take a second, take a breather, and identify where your teammates are at and how you can help them. It's not always a one-person show, right? This entire game is all about teamwork. And with you always split pushing the entire time, you have done things right by getting experience and trying to go for a tower and whatnot, but there are times when you have to identify, where is my teammates? How do I help them? And I believe in that scenario, that was one of those times that you should have taken a second, stepped back, realized I need to get mana and I need to join my teammates, because it eventually led to your death, right? So, something to know. Alright, let's go ahead and keep moving forward here. Gonna be spawning pretty soon, and you just did. Where do you go? Well, it looks like you're beelining to the bottom lane. No, you're coming around. Nice. Okay, good. You grouped up here with Sonya. Nice play here. Stay with her. Stay with her. She's not that great by herself, especially in weird situations. You're not that great by yourself, but combined, you're basically Captain Planet, man. You put out so much damage, it's crazy. Alright, well, I guess in this situation, it is okay here to go ahead and try and split push the lanes and try to get to 9 or 10. You can't really fight for the Immortals, and that's where a majority of the aggression is going to be. I would recommend, you know, coordinating with your teammates, getting 3 people to kind of defend against your Immortals so you can use their AoEs to your advantage. And then 2 of you to sit in a different lane to try and split push. And try and make the opposing team play to you. Right now, I feel like there's a lot of chasing going on between everyone, and it's really just hurting your team. One more member getting picked off, no bueno. This Immortal will be pushing the bottom lane. Immediately when you see this, drop the Hydra on it. Immediately. I like the roaches being there, but the Hydra again will be forced to dealt with. But also, you do so much damage to the Immortal that already would have been down here and it would have been in the green, which gives you guys a chance to go ahead and start poking in. Oh, watch out for that. Nice dodge. You're a little bit too forward here. A little bit too forward. You want to be around this area. That way you can walk into your turrets, use the terrain to your advantage, and if they dive too far, they'll get slowed by the fort. Creep tumors are important, but I think getting auto attacks in while you're walking your way up there would have been great. It would have been 3 little clicks. Make sure to get that orb walking down, especially in Zagara. It's so important to have Stutter stepping down. I like the escape route. Came all the way around, and went straight down so you can help defend against anything that could be pushing. But already the Immortal is defended. So go ahead and take this time to realize there's no major threat on the map. You can go ahead and go back home and get filled up. And you're doing it. Nice. Good job, D the Hunter. That's what I'm talking about. You should ping your teammates back, though. They're being a little bit aggressive here. Just a tad bit. Someone needs to get this top lane and defend this. And it looks like Kel'Thas is doing so, and you're already on the way to defend that. Great. Whenever you back, anyone at home, if you are ever backing, make sure to take a chance to look at the minimap and decide your next move. That way, as soon as you spawn, you don't have to wait. You can beeline to whatever objective you need to get to and do your best there in the game as fast as possible. It's all about speed when you're playing these games. How quick can you get to a scenario, and how quick can you make an impact? So, great call here by D the Hunter to go ahead and back. Look to the top lanes, recognize Sylvanas was pushing, and that is let's go ahead and go back into the map. This is the only real objective on the map that is of danger that you guys can deal with, which is defending this fort. Yeah, there are mercenaries, and for the most part, they could grab those, but your best line of defense is over here, especially with getting level 10 right now. So, nice play. Middle lane, a lot of aggressions going on. And as soon as you notice Sylvanas is gone from this area, you clear the minions, and you go ahead and move towards your teammates. Around level 10, level 11, level 12, that's where really a lot of team fights are going to happen because everyone's gotten their power spikes. So you need to be in an area or in a situation where you can help them. It looks like both of you up here is kind of split pushing once again. And while Zagara is pretty good at split pushing, again, you don't have to do it all the time. Split pushing in itself is just getting rid of these minions and letting the other minions tank these tower shots to get rid of this ammo so you can push it down later. You're trying to set up where it looks like a lot of creep, but you can see on your minimap there are 4 people down here in the bottom right lane. Guys should start heading down here and try to get the number advantage. It looks like Kel'Thas will be joining you. Sylvanas wants to split push, but this is your chance for you guys to make a play. And you run down here, but it might have been a little bit too late just because you wanted to get this one creep tumor up here in the top left corner. Was that worth it? And I would say the answer is no. Remember, speed. We gotta move quickly. With Tychus being up and 2 members being down, everyone should just pull back, get to a safe area. Top lane needs to be defended, but I think fighting is actually more important here. You can't do anything against Sylvanas. She has more mobility than you. All you can do is drop a Hydra, and if you want to, you can drop a Hydra on her and then run away. You need to get down here and help in this fight. This fight is more important. Your entire team is down here. They're ready for a fight. They need your maul to make anything happen. And so you drop the Hydra, so she walks away. This is all you gotta do in the beginning. Drop a Hydra and walk away. These Impalers, yeah, they're a pain, but you have priorities. When things are starting to fall apart, you can't defend at all. So you need to get rid of some things here or there. Alright. At this point, you're dancing around, trying to deal with these Impalers. Drop some roaches and go back home and heal. You are so low on HP. This bush right here is a death sentence. You have to assume automatically that there is somebody in here. It's like playing blackjack. You always assume the dealer has a 10, right? Underneath whatever number there may be. Whenever you are near a bush and you have no idea where anyone is on the minimap, you need to assume this entire place is full. And you're so low on HP. Oh my gosh, you are making me nervous. Even though I can see the whole minimap. Whew. You're going to survive, but you're going into a fight with no mana. Make sure to top that off, man. You just can't help your teammate. You can put in a couple auto attacks here and there, maybe drop a spell. But right now, you're basically, gosh, a paperweight, right? The Uwa falls up, and this was a great choice to put a Hydra in here and maybe even fall up into a Devouring Maw. And sadly, none of that can happen here. And now, Sonya is basically out of abilities, and it looks like you're going to get poked down. One member does go down. Tychus showing up. He's going for it, though. What a playmaker, taking 3 people out. And now this becomes a 4v2. You have no mana. He is going to try her best to heal you up. But this is a lost cause right now. Potentially what you could have done as soon as 3 members died is you can run top lane and try and get a tower or 2. Just be on your best footing so you can try and get away ASAP. Sitting around your Immortal could be strong, but again, you have no resources to help you out. You're getting creep down, so that's nice. Take the chance here. Go ahead and go back home and heal. Get out with your teammates, regroup with them, and that way you guys can work together towards winning. You will not be able to do it by yourself. So, finally back in. Nice. Everyone's a little bit spread out. And the Immortal's still dancing. Kel'Thas is going to show up here and try and help out. And this, is, I believe, is in the... this is not PTR. Obviously, it's not PTR, so... Kel'Thas gives you a chance to really bring this game together if you guys can get to 16. Just gotta stop being separated. Alright, so the Immortal... Oh no, misclick it looks like. That is unfortunate, D the Hunter. That happens. But maybe they didn't see it. And if they didn't see it, you could totally use the entire mentality of, or the fear of a Devouring Maw being in your kit. And kind of posture like you're going to use it sometime in the next fight. And it might scare your opponents off, but I don't know. Be careful. Immortal gets picked off, and I do like that you guys did put some damage on this Immortal, so you have less of a threat coming down your lane. But you guys need to all posture up and group up for it. You're trying to poke with Baneling still. Get out of there, man. You don't have your teammates with you. 2 of them are in the top right corner. You have 2 with you, but you only see 1 in the top right, which could basically put you in a position where you can assume it's a 4v3 right now. And oh man, Tychus is just pelting you guys down. Lily's going to be able to get the heals off. Just run away. You can't win this fight at this point. Get out. Go back home and start defending. The Immortal has now done a decent amount of damage to your infrastructure. Looking at the minimap, you can see that there was a couple people down here in the bottom right corner, so you can go ham on this thing. Start attacking it. Maybe even jump on Zagara, and it looks like Sonya did jump on Zagara. She gets to kill us. Nice. Nice. It's actually really good. You guys are only 2 levels behind. You're in a pretty solid position here. Step up here. You need to help Lily. So, while the Immortal is hitting your fort, you've got to pay attention to your teammates. If they're being a little bit aggressive, you got to support them on the way back home. Dropping a Hydra would have been very helpful there. Maybe we've gotten Tychus down to half health, which may have set you guys up for a little bit of a fight later on. Alright, so There is some fighting going on. If you can, position yourself in this area. Just because you have infrastructure around you have a lot of diving that's possible by the opposing team if they take Leework and go ham. So if you have 3 structures to be around, they're going to take 2 hits here from the turrets every time they keep walking forward, and you'll be able to trade out damage to them as well. Oh man, another Maw. It's a little bit late. So with Maws on Devouring Maw, you got to realize there is a small windup on the actual ability. So you have to make sure the opposing team is completely committed before you try using it. Drop that Hydra earlier. As soon as he starts charging for you, drop that Hydra. It has a long duration. Tychus used Odin. Once you see this, pull back. Pull all the way back. All of you get back home and get under the comfort of your core. Because you don't need to be fighting this area, right? You're at a disadvantage. You need to take every advantage you can. And they've used their heroics, so wait for them to burn them out. Looks like you guys are going in. Kael'thas does land a solid flame strike, but the Wailing Arrow hits 3 of your team members. Nice job over here, though, poking from the side. Getting a little too advantageous for my liking. Tychus could have E3'd in there and Q'd you, but it's going to pay off. Make sure to try to be always poking from maximum range if you're playing Zagara. Nice Hydras again. Keep working those bad boys in. Keep working them in. Okay, you guys have defended. You've lost a member, but you're looking okay. You need to get these catapults killed off. When they get to about 2 or 3, they start stacking up very, very quickly, and they'll start pelting your core down to low amounts of health. So you definitely want to be there defending these whenever they start grouping up like that. And Kael'thas will be doing so. And you're beelining straight across the middle of the map. This is late game, so you cannot afford to get caught out of position. Make sure to wait for your teammates. I can understand maybe dropping a couple of Hydras here, but drop the roaches in this bottom left corner just so your avenue can be watched, right? You're just kind of zoning out anyone and also kind of spotting out. Nice Maw, you do catch 1 member and the rest of them are away. You guys should definitely jump on this. You jump on, you do kill off Zagara, but your positioning here was too aggressive. You have no out, right? Let's go ahead and pause this real quick and not watch the fight. So, you are totally fine here. You can drop roaches behind. Then you can Hydra. You don't have to do the Banelings, but the Banelings are kind of cool to time out with the Devouring Maw. But you walking in this area puts you in a situation where you're dead no matter what. You know the opposing team is over here because your Immortal is here. So that puts the angles for them to come in here, here, or on the top right corner. So put yourself in a position where you can win, where you can escape if need be. This positioning right here was a death trap no matter what. Even if they came this route, you would run down to here, you would get caught by minions. You'd basically just have a really, really bad time, right? Make sure to think. Make sure to have an escape route always ready for yourself. Something to note. Alright, so you're down for the next 30 seconds. What are your goals from here when you spawn? If you spawn and you're able to defend, where do you need to go to get a win? What is your win condition? And that's probably getting to level 20. Because your opponents are going to get to level 20 right now. They're also going to have an Immortal. You've lost a few more members of your teammates as well. So what you need to do immediately here is you need to run to this area, absorb this experience. You don't have to really apply the finishing blows, but drop down a couple of Hydras and mount up, run by the catapults as they get hit by the your minions. That way you can absorb the experience and then go defend top lane. That's an option. As running into this area, this choke that your opponents have so much control over isn't going to work out for you. As you can see by a few of your teammates being picked off. So you do that, you run down here, deal with the catapults, make sure to be moving up to this top left corner. It seems like you guys is kind of talking. First off, this type of comment is not needed, right? You do not need to pick on your teammates ever, ever for their builds. Because, honestly, most of the time, it's the teamwork that's hurting you guys, not a build. And potentially, he could be trying something out. You should really worry about your own play. I understand things aren't going well, but negative attitude doesn't help. Right now, you guys are in a dire situation where you need to defend your base or you're going to lose. Conversing about a build isn't going to be helpful. Okay, so the fight is happening. You're trying to fight in this bottom right corner. I like the positioning here. You have an avenue to pop back here and get back into the fountain to hit yourself. 2 members have been killed off, so you guys have started. Nicely done. Try and walk up. That's okay. Nice, nice, nice. You need to be getting auto attacks in. Need to be getting auto attacks in. Looks like Zagara is gonna get picked off, maybe? Oh, down low on HP. New York does spawn and deals with her. Now kill the Immortal. Gotta be on it. Use that Hydra. Looks like you will be able to pick off Tychus too, but the Immortal is the main story here, right? No one attacked that Immortal. All the damage that happened to that Immortal was actually coming from the core. And that kind of, you know, killed you because it is late game. Around like 17 to 20 minutes, those Immortals start chunking down like crazy, so make sure to deal with them. So I guess overall, for some things to reflect upon is A, if you're playing Zagara, watch that mana health bar. You need to make sure that you're over about 50 to 60% of mana. And once you're over 60%, you can kind of just throw out abilities left and right. That's totally fine. I would recommend roaches and strategic locations like near turrets and areas to demount people. Because also, when that ventral sight comes down, it does apply damage as well. So you can use that to kind of knock people off their mounts. And then also the Hydra for the damage. You want to use that as your escape ability. So make sure that you're using it when people are trying to engage on you. Also when you're trying to secure a kill. Because when they're walking towards you, that Hydra will put out a lot of damage very, very quickly. And also for just pushing lanes. Banelings, be a little bit more careful with. Make sure that you're getting area effect value out of them. Just by themselves, they don't really do that much, especially if they're hitting a front line of minions. And also, they don't do that much harass on heroes, so you got to be really careful with using those. Positioning is very, very important, because again, you don't have an escaping mechanic like a Falstad barrel roll or a Vala vault, so you got to always be thinking about how can your opponent jump on top of you. There's a couple times that you were a little bit too aggressive, and immediately, just like that, you died. So be careful with that. And then also, you know, sometimes teammates go weird build orders, but as long as they're trying, and you're trying your best as well, you should never really call them out. Try to be a little bit nicer. Maybe if you want, you can say, hey, you should try this talent next time. But never ever flat out call out somebody, because that helps nobody, right? Overall, there are a couple things here and there to kind of be aware of. But, you know, some decent gameplay there, and hopefully you'll keep moving up. Alright, man. Good luck, and thanks for watching.